Welcome to Body of Wisdom Yoga, a recipe video. My name is Mia Cutler. I'm the founder of Body of Wisdom Yoga. We are an online platform for active older adults, a yoga platform. All of our teachers are 55 years of age and older, just like you. And we understand what it's like to be in an older body. We offer beginner to intermediate classes. Part of my mission with this project was to have an extensive amount of free content. Know that when you become a member, you're helping to grow the amount of free content that we can offer to bring this life-changing practice to more yogis. So it's a win-win. Why cooking? Well, because I love cooking. I love yoga and I love cooking. I love entertaining and I like sharing my recipes with you. So today I am making a onion, garlic, white miso pasta. Sounds a little strange, but it's very tasty. On top, I'll be searing spicy tofu. And on the side, we'll have roasted tomato and broccoli. Sounds like a lot. There's a lot going on, but it's not that much. So to get started, I'm going to make my marinade for the tofu. I have the tofu, I've already cut it up, and I am pressing it, which is what you need to do with tofu. You want to buy firm, organic tofu, and I have it here. I'm just trying to get out most of the water before I put it in the marinade. I'll put that aside. I have my oven set to 400 degrees. I'll be roasting the tomatoes and the broccoli in the oven. So let's start. I'm going to start by making the marinade. We take a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, a tablespoon of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, which I've pre-measured, 2 tablespoons of mirin, which is a traditional sweetened Japanese sake, 1 garlic clove. So my friend was at a art fair and purchased this contraption for me, and I'm not one to buy garlic in a can or jar already done. I really like chopping it up on my own. It's better, it's fresh. And I thought this was a little bit silly until I used it. It's so handy. So I'll just show you how it works. Put this to the side. You put your garlic clove in the tube and then you roll it back and forth. And it takes off the coating, right, the skin. And then, this is just interesting, it's handmade pottery. You take the garlic clove and you just start to go back and forth across these little nubby nubs. And it makes it like a paste. So, if you don't have this, and you probably don't, that's okay. You're just going to mince the garlic. I'm going to put that in there, and then it comes with this little brush, and I brush it into the marinade. Kind of fun. And this recipe also calls for a tablespoon of ginger. So I'm going to do the same thing with the ginger. I've already peeled it. I'm just going to go back and forth on this thingy thing. So I'm just going to keep going back and forth a little longer. And I'll take this ginger and put it in the marinade. 1 teaspoon of Asian chili paste. And in the grocery store, it's called sauce. Unless there's something I'm missing, and there really is a paste out there. This is kind of pasty. This calls for 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. I don't think I have that much, so I'm just going to put in what I have. which is 1 tablespoon. Calls for 2, it's going to be fine. We'll see if I can get a couple more drops out here. All right, I'm going to take my whisk and whisk this up. So that's done. Now for the tofu. I think I'm going to cube the tofu. You could also do it in blocks if you prefer. I'm going to stack it up. All right, so I'm just going to mix this up. Oh, it smells so good. Spicy, gingery, garlicky, yum. All right, and there it sits. Onto the roasted tomatoes and broccoli. I'll get those in the oven and then I'll start the pasta. I put the broccoli and the tomatoes in a bowl. I'm going to add some olive oil. Shake this up. Some salt. Give it another shaky shake. Put it on the parchment paper. Give it a shaky shake, and I'll put this in the oven, 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Onto the pasta. So we start with 2 onions, finely sliced, so not chopped. For me, when I'm looking at recipes, very so often recipes to me that recipes that sound like they're going to be odd, I tend to gravitate towards. White miso, I tend to gravitate towards. I love using white miso cooking. I have this really nice recipe with some butter and honey, and we slather it on vegetables or tofu, cook it in the oven. So when I came across this recipe, I thought, ooh, gotta try it. White miso with onion and garlic. So yummy. Ooh, it's starting with my eyes. I was thinking I was doing really well. Actually, not so bad. I felt a twinge there. Four cloves of sliced garlic. So I'll take this garlic. We need 4 cloves. And a tablespoon of white miso. I like to have all my ingredients out and ready. I do not have a thing nearby, so I'm just going to take what looks like a tablespoon. So if you've ever had miso soup, this is where it comes from, miso paste. There's also red miso. Lots of different misos. I'm going to give this a stir again. The tofu. Yum, it smells so good. And now to put everything together, I'm going to get out a big pot for the pasta. Salt my water before I put the pasta in. I'll turn this on high. And then I have a cast iron skillet. You don't need to use a cast iron skillet. And we'll turn this on medium. While I'm waiting for the olive oil to get hot, I'm going to chop up these chives. And we're going to make them long, like 3 inches long. These smell good. All right, let's add the onions. We're going to let these cook for 15 minutes. When I come back, I'll have been cooking the onions for 15 minutes. We'll add in the garlic. We'll add in the miso paste, some butter, Parmesan cheese, chives, a little bit of the pasta water. Mix that up for a little bit and then add in the pasta. It's going to be delicious. I'll see you in about 15 minutes. So we're about 10 minutes in. I'm going to stir this up. It feels a little bit high, so I'm going to turn the heat down. We're not actually caramelizing the onions. That takes much longer at a lower temperature. This is kind of in the middle. We're sauteing them, we're letting them get soft with a little bit of brown color. We just don't want to burn them. And I'll take the tomatoes and broccoli out of the oven and see how they're doing. Oh, these look great. I'm going to give them a stir. I'll give this a stir. See how it's sticking there on the bottom? That means the heat's a little high. These are great. So I turn the heat down. We're going to cook them about another 5 minutes and then add in the garlic. I'll put the broccoli and the tomatoes back in the oven. Another 5 minutes should do. Just keep checking and flipping. They should be roasted, not burnt. And you can always add a little bit more olive oil if they seem dry, but we are roasting them, so we don't want them too wet with the olive oil. Into the onions, I'm going to add the garlic. I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter. Oh, it smells so good. And while that's cooking, I'm going to start heating up the pan to make the tofu. Into the pan that I'm searing the tofu, I'll put some olive oil. And the pasta water is boiling. Everything's coming to a head. Calls for 12 ounces of pasta, which is 3/4 of a pound. Open up the lid. Put this in. I'll wait for that to come down. Give the onions a stir. Alrighty, gonna add the tofu. I'm using a slotted spoon because I don't want any more of the sauce right now. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a little sizzle, which is what I want. All right, while the pasta's cooking, now I'm going to add in the miso paste. 2 more pats of butter. And mix it up. I have a feeling the tomatoes are done. Tomatoes and broccoli, so I'll take them out of the oven. Not sure, I haven't looked, but we'll see. Good boy. Yep, they are done. I don't know if you can see those. Yum. I haven't done much with the tofu. I'm just letting it get brown on one side, but I will be flipping it soon. So I'm going to turn off the heat on the tofu. It's seared. The onions and, where's my tongs? The onions, garlic, miso, and butter smell and look delicious. And the pasta is just al dente, which is what we want. A little bit of a chew. We want to add a little bit of the pasta water with the sauce, so I'm not going to drain it. I'm just going to kind of put it over in there. I'm going to turn this down to low, and then I'll start to transfer my pasta. And give it a mix. This smells so good. I think I'll add a little bit more water. Use this of the pasta water. That was about 1/3 of a cup. That feels better. You want it a little bit slippery, not sticky. Right at the end, we add the Parmesan cheese and the long chives. Give it another mix up. So the chives will just be wilted. Just a little bit of heat on them without cooking them. All right, when I come back, I'll have plated this up. And here we are, the finished dish. Spaghetti with onion, garlic, white miso, a spicy seared tofu, and broccoli with roasted tomatoes. This is so good. I might make this like once every 2 or 3 weeks. I love the addition. For me, I haven't made this before with the roasted tomatoes or broccoli. I love that addition. The last time I made this, I did squash with it, but I really like the broccoli and the tomatoes. It's a bit messy, but that's okay. From my house to yours, thank you for coming today. I hope you try out this recipe. If you have not subscribed to Body of Wisdom Yoga, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like this. And if you haven't checked out our website, please do. bodyofwisdomyoga.com. Thanks for joining me.